Hey, what's up guys? This is Greg with ASUS ROG. Now in our last video, we built this system. It's a mini ITX system utilizing the Z390 chipset and 9th generation Intel Core i7 CPU. Now at the end of that video, I mentioned we were going to set it up and do some overclocking. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how easy it is to overclock your system using the ASUS AI Overclocking. So let's go ahead and get started. It's actually so easy that the most time-consuming part is just going to be downloading the utilities. So why don't we go and get started with that? So the first thing you're going to want to do is head over to our website and look up the motherboard that you're using. We're using the ROG Strix Z390i gaming motherboard. And go ahead and click on support. So then we'll go ahead and choose our version of Windows. This is where you can find all of your drivers and utilities for the motherboard. This is what's most important here, utilities. So let's go ahead and say see all downloads. So you're going to want to download the ASUS Intel Extreme Tuning utility. We're going to use that in order to stress test the system. And the second most important thing here is the AI suite. So this is the software we'll use to do the AI optimization. Now I've already gone ahead and downloaded all this software. So let's just go ahead and minimize this window and we'll get started. So first things first, let's open up the ASUS Intel Extreme Tuning utility. So this will also give you basic information about your system for your processor, graphics, memory, and all that. But then also down here at the bottom, it has a running timeline of your CPU temperature, CPU utilization, and the maximum core frequency. There's also additional information on the right-hand side here. And when you hover the mouse over the dataset, it'll pop up with more detailed information for the recent minimum, maximum, and average settings. So that's kind of cool too. And we can go ahead and run a stress test right now. We'll just do 5 minutes just to kind of show you what it does. Let's go ahead and click start. So we'll probably go ahead and fast forward through this, but basically it'll take the CPU to 100% utilization, and then we can see how hot it gets and what the maximum core frequency is that we're able to achieve. So our short stress test is complete, and as you can see here in the software, we passed. Now this stress test was only 5 minutes, but if you're going to do a real one and you really want to test the system, I suggest doing a half hour to an hour. And that'll really put this thing to work. So let's look at the results down here. So this is the stress test here in the graph. But over here on the right-hand side, we can look at the maximum temperature that it reached. It'll tell us down here. So it looks like the maximum was 63 degrees, which is very good. There's definitely some headroom there to overclock a little bit more. Basically, you want to keep it under 80 degrees. Anything below that is good. So let's see what the max frequency it hit was. So it got up on its own up to 4.7 gigahertz. So I think the max turbo boost on this CPU is 4.9, so it almost hit that. That's pretty good. But I think we can definitely get better than that once we overclock. Now, if you're an advanced overclocker and you have experience overclocking your systems before, you can actually overclock through the ASUS Extreme Tuning utility. You can come in here and put in your own custom settings and try your hand at getting the best performance out of this CPU. But if you're kind of new to overclocking and you want to just click one button and have the best stable overclock you can get, well, then that's why we have the AI suite. So I've already installed the AI suite here. There's a little button in the bottom right-hand corner that shows up after you install it. And we're going to go ahead and open up the software here. Now this already says that we can overclock this to 5.2 gigahertz, which is a 44% increase over the stock the base clock, the 3.6 gigahertz base clock. So that's pretty good. And down here it has kind of your predicted values for the voltage and the frequency over what it currently is. And then across the bottom, it kind of has all of your current settings, temperature, fan speeds, and frequency. But let's go ahead and start the AI overclock. Let's start. Now what this is going to do is restart your computer. So we're going to go ahead and click yes. So once the computer restarts, it'll automatically pop up with this window from the AI overclocking, kind of showing the changes that were made. So it looks like we're running at 5.2 gigahertz now. We'll go ahead and click back. And yeah, down here, we've got 5.2 gigahertz, CPU temperature holding around 30, so that's good. But now we want to go ahead and run another stress test and make sure that the system is stable. So let's go ahead and open back up the Intel Extreme Tuning utility. All right, stress test, CPU stress test. All right, we'll go ahead and do a 5-minute stress test. Let's go and see how high the temperature gets and make sure that this thing is stable. So the stress test has completed for 5.2 gigahertz and it looks like we've passed. Let's go ahead and see what the maximum temperature is that we hit. So it got up to 86 degrees, so that's getting up there in temperature, but still not enough to damage your CPU. So I think that's pretty good. And just in case you guys are wondering, we're actually using the ROG Ryu all-in-one liquid CPU cooler. So this is the 240 millimeter version. It looks like it's working pretty well, this 9th gen CPU. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about AI overclocking or any of our other products, please reach out to us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/rog.n.america. We'll see you next time.